Hey Aries, I just pulled cards for you and honestly what came through is something I need to share immediately because the energy around your reading right now is absolutely profound. I shuffled my deck with your sign in mind and the universe clearly has messages for you that cannot wait. So let me take you through what I discovered because this reading about your world renewing is incredibly significant. The first card that jumped out when I asked about your immediate future is the Nine of Swords. Now I know this card typically makes people nervous, but stay with me because the context here is so important. This card is appearing to show you that you have been carrying so much mental weight lately. Those nights where sleep doesn't come easy, where your mind races through every scenario, every worry, every what if. The Nine of Swords is validating that yes, this has been your reality. But here's what makes this fascinating in your spread. This card is not showing up as your destination. It is showing up as what you are leaving behind. Think about it, Aries. You have spent considerable time in your head, overthinking situations that honestly probably will never happen. The anxiety you have been experiencing about certain outcomes, about what people think, about whether you made the right choices, all of that mental turbulence is reaching its conclusion. What I find really interesting is how this card positions itself because it is telling me that you have been your own worst enemy in some ways. Not because you are weak. Absolutely not. But because that warrior energy you carry sometimes turns inward, and you battle yourself more fiercely than you would ever battle anyone else. The worries that keep you up, they are not based on your reality. They are based on fear of what could go wrong. But Aries, what I am seeing in the energy surrounding this card is that you are becoming aware of this pattern. You are starting to recognize when your mind is creating problems that do not exist yet. That awareness is huge because it is the first step toward freedom from this cycle. Moving to the second card, and oh, this is where things get interesting. I pulled the Two of Wands. Now this card coming right after the Nine of Swords is not coincidental at all. The Two of Wands is all about standing at a crossroads and actually seeing your options clearly for possibly the first time in a while. You know what this tells me. You are shifting from paralysis by analysis into actual strategic planning. The figure in the Two of Wands holds the world in their hand, looking out at possibilities, and that is exactly where you are heading. After all that mental spinning, you are going to reach this point of clarity where you can actually see the paths available to you without the fog of anxiety clouding everything. What I love about this card for you is that it represents controlled power. You are not rushing into anything. You are not making panic decisions. Instead, you are taking your time to survey the landscape and make choices from a place of strength rather than fear. The Two of Wands also speaks to partnership and planning, which suggests to me that you might be coordinating something significant with someone else. Or perhaps you are finally seeing how your individual goals can align with broader opportunities. There is this sense of holding potential in your hands and being very deliberate about how you use it. The Wand suit is your natural element as an Aries, so having this card appear tells me you are coming back into your power, back into that confident, decisive energy that is your birthright. But this time it is tempered with actual wisdom rather than just impulse. The third card I drew is the Empress, and I literally had to pause for a moment when this came up because the shift in energy is remarkable. From the anxiety of the Nine of Swords, through the strategic planning of the Two of Wands, and now into the abundant creativity of the Empress. This card is absolutely gorgeous for your reading because it represents things coming to fruition. The Empress is about creation, manifestation, nurturing projects or relationships until they bloom into something beautiful and sustainable. For you, Aries, this suggests that something you have been working on. Possibly something you have been worried about if we consider that Nine of Swords energy is actually going to grow and flourish beyond what you imagined. The Empress does not force growth. She facilitates it by creating the right conditions. This tells me you are entering a phase where you need to trust the natural timing of things rather than trying to push so hard all the time. I know that is challenging for your sign because you want everything yesterday, but the Empress is showing you that real lasting abundance comes from patience and proper cultivation. This could manifest in many areas of your life. Could be a creative project finally taking shape. Could be a relationship deepening into something more secure and loving. Could even be your own self-development where you are finally seeing the results of inner work you have been doing. The Empress is also strongly connected to self-worth and knowing your value. which again ties back beautifully to moving past that Nine of Swords energy where you were doubting yourself. Now the fourth card is the Ace of Wands, and this is where I get really excited for you. The Ace of Wands is pure potential. It is the spark of inspiration, the beginning of a passionate new chapter. Coming after the Empress, this is telling me that once you stabilize and see the abundance you are capable of creating, a brand new opportunity is going to present itself to you. And this is not just any opportunity, this is something that ignites you. Something that makes you feel alive and excited in a way you maybe have not felt in quite a while. The Ace is always about new beginnings, and in the Wand suit specifically, it is about taking inspired action on something you are genuinely passionate about. What I find significant here is the timing of this card in your spread. It is not appearing at the beginning, it is appearing after you have done the mental work, after you have planned strategically, after you have cultivated abundance. This suggests to me that this new opportunity is not random, it is actually a direct result of the growth you have been experiencing. You are going to be ready for this when it comes, unlike times in the past where opportunities might have come but you were not in the right headspace to fully capitalize on them. The Ace of Wands wants you to be bold, to say yes to things that scare you a little bit, to trust that fire in your belly that tells you when something is right for you. This card is permission to be enthusiastic, to chase what excites you without apologizing for your passion. The fifth card that came through is Temperance, and honestly this placement is so wise. After the excitement and fire of the Ace of Wands, Temperance appears to remind you about balance. This is such an important message for you, Aries, because your natural inclination is to go all in on everything, but Temperance is saying that sustainable success comes from moderation and patience. This card shows an angel mixing water between two cups, creating the perfect blend, finding harmony between opposing forces. For you, this might mean balancing your ambitions with rest, balancing your need for independence with the benefits of collaboration, balancing your fiery nature with moments of calm reflection. Temperance is also about healing and integration. It suggests you are in a process of bringing different parts of yourself into alignment. Maybe you have felt fragmented, like different areas of your life were pulling you in opposite directions, but Temperance is showing that you are finding ways to create coherence and flow. What I really appreciate about this card is how it speaks to divine timing. The angel in Temperance has one foot on land and one in water, representing being grounded while also being fluid and adaptable. This is asking you to trust the process even when you want to force outcomes. Some things are still cooking, still mixing into the right combination, and trying to rush them will only create imbalance. The good news is that Temperance promises that when things do come together, they will be perfectly blended for your highest good. Card number 6 is the Queen of Cups, and while the emotional depth here is significant, the Queen of Cups is one of the most intuitive cards in the entire deck, representing someone who is deeply in touch with their feelings and the feelings of others. For you, Aries, this card is interesting because it is asking you to develop or trust your emotional intelligence more than you might usually do. You are a fire sign, you lead with action and instinct. But the Queen of Cups is showing you the power of also leading with compassion and emotional awareness. This could manifest as you becoming more in tune with what you truly feel versus what you think you should feel. It might mean you are developing stronger empathy for others, seeing situations from their emotional perspective rather than just your own viewpoint. The Queen of Cups is also about emotional maturity and security. She sits on her throne by the water, completely comfortable with the depth of emotions, not afraid of feelings whether they are joyful or painful. This suggests you are developing a more mature relationship with your own emotional life. Instead of either suppressing feelings or being overwhelmed by them, you are finding this middle ground where you can acknowledge and process emotions in healthy ways. In terms of relationships, the Queen of Cups can indicate someone coming into your life who embodies these qualities. Someone emotionally available and nurturing. Or it can mean you are embodying these qualities yourself. And that is going to dramatically improve all your connections. The 7th card is Five of Cups, and I want you to really hear what I am about to say about this one because context is everything. The Five of Cups traditionally shows disappointment, loss, grief over what did not work out. There is a figure looking at spilled cups while not noticing the 2 cups still standing behind them. But here is what is crucial about this card in your spread. It is appearing in the middle to latter part of your reading, which tells me this is not about new loss. This is about releasing old grief. You have been carrying disappointment about certain outcomes. Maybe about relationships that did not pan out the way you hoped. Maybe about opportunities that did not materialize. Maybe about ways you feel you failed yourself or others. The Five of Cups is appearing to give you permission to finally grieve these things properly so you can move on. Because here is the thing, Aries, you often try to just power through pain. You try to be strong and not dwell on disappointments, but that means you never actually process them. They just sit inside you taking up space. This card is saying it is time to turn around and see those two cups that are still standing. It is time to acknowledge what you do have rather than only focusing on what you lost. This is not toxic positivity. This is not pretending pain does not exist. It is about allowing yourself to feel the loss and recognize that your story is not over. There is still so much available to you if you can shift your focus. Moving into card number 8, I pulled the Four of Pentacles, and this one requires some nuance. The Four of Pentacles shows someone holding tightly to their resources, trying to maintain control and security. On one level, this card can represent financial stability and being responsible with resources, which is obviously positive. But it can also represent holding on so tightly that you block the flow of abundance. Given the context of your other cards, I am reading this as you being in a phase where you are trying to protect what you have built. After experiencing that Five of Cups disappointment, after going through uncertainty represented by the Nine of Swords, it makes sense that you would want to hold on tightly to anything stable and secure. However, the Four of Pentacles is gently warning you not to let this protectiveness turn into rigidity. There is a difference between being responsible and being so fearful of loss that you never take necessary risks. This card might also relate to control issues in a broader sense. Are you trying to control outcomes because you are scared of being hurt again? Are you holding back emotionally or creatively because you do not want to be vulnerable? The Four of Pentacles is asking you to examine where your need for security is actually serving you and where it might be limiting you. The good news is that this card also confirms you do have resources to protect. You have built something worth holding onto. You just need to make sure you are holding it with an open hand rather than a clenched fist out. Card 9 is the Knight of Cups, and oh, this brings such beautiful energy into your reading. The Knight of Cups is the ultimate romantic, the dreamer, the person who leads with their heart and pursues what they love with passion and sincerity. This knight rides slowly, carefully carrying a cup, completely focused on the precious cargo of emotions and dreams. For your reading, this card can represent a few things. It might indicate someone entering your life who embodies these qualities, someone who is going to pursue your connection with genuine romantic intention. And like the Knight of Wands who would charge in impulsively, the Knight of Cups takes their time. They are thoughtful about matters of the heart. If this represents a person, they are someone who values emotional connection, who is not afraid of vulnerability, who actually wants depth rather than surface-level interaction. But the Knight of Cups can also represent you stepping into this energy. After all the cards we have looked at, after the anxiety, the planning, the grief work, the protecting yourself, now you are ready to open your heart again. You are ready to pursue what and who you love without cynicism or fear holding you back. The Knight of Cups is idealistic but in a beautiful way. He reminds us that believing in love, in beauty, and the goodness of pursuing what moves your soul, that is not naive. That is actually incredibly brave. This card is encouraging you to make offers from the heart, to extend yourself emotionally, to show up vulnerably in ways that might feel scary but are ultimately so rewarding. The 10th and final card in your reading is the King of Pentacles, and this is such a powerful note to end on. The King of Pentacles represents ultimate mastery in the material world. This is someone who has built something lasting, who understands how to create sustainable wealth and security, who is generous and abundant because they know there is enough. After the journey of your entire reading, from anxiety through planning, through creating, through grieving, through protecting, through opening your heart again, you arrive at the King of Pentacles energy, which is total manifestation and stability. This tells me that everything you are going through right now, all the ups and downs, and the processing and the growth, it is leading you to a place of real tangible success and security. The King of Pentacles is not flashy. This is not about sudden windfalls or dramatic changes. This is about building something real that lasts. This could be about career success, about finally establishing the financial security you have been working toward. about creating a stable foundation in your life that allows you to then be generous with others. What I love about this card for you is that it represents mature masculine energy that knows how to provide and protect without being controlling or rigid. After the Four of Pentacles, where we talked about holding to tightly, the King shows you what it looks like to have abundance and security while still being open and generous. This card promises that you are heading toward a time of harvest, where all your efforts are going to pay off in ways you can actually tangible experience and enjoy. So Aries, when I look at your complete reading, what I see is this incredible journey of transformation. You are moving from a place of mental anxiety and overthinking into strategic planning and clarity. You are learning to nurture and create abundance rather than forcing outcomes. New passionate opportunities are opening up for you that align with who you are becoming. You are finding balance and trusting divine timing. You are developing emotional depth and maturity. You are processing old grief so it no longer holds you back. You are learning the difference between healthy protection and rigid control. You are opening your heart to pursue what you love. And ultimately, you are building toward lasting material success and security. Your world truly is renewing right now. Everything is shifting and the universe is absolutely supporting this transformation. Trust the process, trust yourself, and know that what is meant for you is already finding its way to you.